Ever notice how senior directors and VPs at large companies like Google and Facebook will often struggle to find titles that match their seniority when they start to look at startups and scale-ups? The reason is because those large companies tend to have bloated hierarchies and rather inflated titles. If you look at the actual level of responsibility, however, you'll often find that some of those more junior-sounding titles have just as much decision-making power as the people in those previous senior-sounding roles did, if not more. It's also been a thing that titles have inflated a bit over the last couple of years. For example, before I hit VP, I was already managing 3 functions and almost 70 people. I often look now at people who have an SVP title, even in startups, who have nowhere near that level of responsibility. That's why I would encourage people who are starting to look in that space for the first time to look much closer at the scope of the role, the scope of the responsibilities, and how close you are to the decision-making power. Do you report directly to the CEO? If that's the case, I don't really care what your title is. That's an incredibly important place to be. And also to think about the growth curve. How quickly are you going to grow? How much are you going to learn? And how much more valuable are you going to be to the market 3 to 4 years from now? And the last thing that I would say is that startups tend to grow quickly and the high performers tend to have people put under them, very rapidly increasing the amount of responsibility that they have and the associated title. Growing with a startup will often see your career advance much faster than staying in a high title job at a large company if you're focused on the right things.